Welcome to Traveling on Everyday Spend Points and Miles Report. This is a special one because of the rent day for Bilt coming up, and it'll be before the Thursday weekly live stream. So I want to make sure that I get this out to you so that hopefully you maximize the benefits of Bilt. Unfortunately, I was only going to do this as just kind of talking about that, but now obviously have information that we need to address because it really does change build in a significant way for a lot of people, and especially me as a non-renter. And we need to talk about the situation, strategy on top of what's going on for August built. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to go ahead and first start off with me sharing my screen to show you exactly what we're dealing with. What you're seeing here is the terms and conditions for the August rent day, which is fine until you get to the third paragraph. And what you're going to see is that the maximum amount of bonus points you can earn under the promotion is 10,000 per month, regardless of how much you purchase. That is what we've been used to. The problem is the bold. Effective October 1st, 2024, the maximum amount of bonus points you can earn under this promotion will be 1,000 per month, regardless of how much you purchase. That is quite simply, it's a 90% drop in what we were able to do with Built and its points. And I've talked about in two videos related to Build. The first one that I did was talking about, was Build a good card for a non-renter? And the conclusion was yes, it is, and went over all of the reasons why, and named it as, I had it as one of the top credit cards, one of the only credit cards you needed in 2024. But then when the Wall Street Journal article came out about Built about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I did another video. And the main thing I said in that, especially for a non-renter, is I'm going to be looking to see what happens with rent day. I still don't know, and it's still not been discussed of who pays for that for these points. But that's what I was going to look for to see where things may be going. And unfortunately, a 90% drop in bonus points being made available on rent day is dramatic, and it is very significant, and enough where we have to talk about what is the strategy that each of us needs to look at. And I'm going to make sure to talk about that and hopefully be able to give you a little bit of information as I go through my planning process. So let's go ahead though and get started with this agenda. So we've talked about what's going on. We're going to talk about the basics of Bilt Rent Day, the increased multipliers. We're going to talk about some of the features that are for Rent Day, which there's a game you can play for potential Bilt points and a potential to get your rent free for a month. We're going to talk about fitness add-ons for the neighborhood fitness classes. That is a nice little touch that maybe not everybody's aware of. We're going to talk about the Bilt Rent Day Soul Cycle Ride and the neighborhood dining for this month. Then we'll talk about the travel experiences that are for August 1st that is already available that we need to touch on. Then we'll talk about these Bilt tiers and what makes each of them different and what it takes to get to it. And then lastly, we're going to talk about strategy based upon the fact of that significant reduction in bonus points. And I think the worst part, not the worst part, but the very unfortunate part is that this was buried in the terms and conditions. There was an email that went out to Built Rewards um, people and everybody that has it, and there was no talk about this. And it's just unfortunate that it was kind of done on the sly. But we're gonna march on and do what we need to do to get what we can from this card. So let's go ahead and look at the multipliers. And this is as a reminder, rent day, all of the multipliers are doubled, except for rent. Rent will stay at 1x per dollar. So the dining, which is normally 3x per dollar, goes to 6x. The travel that normally is 2x goes to 4x. And then everything else other than rent that is normally just 1x becomes 2x. Now, you do need to have 5 transactions minimum during the billing cycle that rent day is in to be able to qualify for those points that you earn. And as I put on there, you need to maximize rent day. And we'll talk more about that in the strategy. And then when we talk about playing a game for build points, there is a pretty fun game. I've enjoyed it. I haven't won anything yet, unfortunately, but this month's show, they normally have a person co-hosted that is quasi-famous. And so this month it is Jared Freed, who's a comedian, and it's going to be Bilt's founder, Ankur Jain, that will co-host it. Now, the game is open right now. If you go onto your app, you can go ahead and play. You'll need to play by 3 p.m. Uh, on the 1st of August. And you don't have to pay, it's play. It is a family feud style of game. The top 10 players will be revealed as of 4 p.m. on August the 1st and become rent winners. And then the next top 600 members will get extra Bilt rewards points. So, pretty little fun game that could pay some significant dividends if you're really good at it. Then the next item would be the complementary fitness add-ons that I've talked about earlier. So there's neighborhood fitness classes that you can book through Bilt. And these fitness add-ons are not just specific to rent day. It's any time that you are booking the class through Bilt, the app. And so for the Y7 Studio, you get a free mat and towel rental. On Soul Cycle, you'll get the free shoe rental and bottle of water. And for Cycle Bar, you'll get free shoe rental. All of these are nice little touches if you're going to put the work into exercise to really kind of keep these incidental costs down for items that you definitely need to be able to utilize the classes. So the next item will be the Soul Cycle Rent Day Ride and the Neighborhood Dining. So as far as the cycle ride, it's been pretty much a standard each month, where the ride occurs in 50 plus Soul Cycle centers. It's a 45-minute full body indoor cycling class, and there'll be 10 complimentary bikes per rent day ride class that'll be available. You can book the class starting at noon tomorrow, July 30th. One rider will be the winner of 1 month's worth of rent too. So exercise, maybe get a month of rent off. Then the neighborhood dining program that Bilt really promotes significantly is on August 1st, and there will be all-inclusive reservations at top restaurants in the program, of what they say. Now, they're only obviously in participating cities and larger cities. So this month it is Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Nashville, New York, and then DC. The reservation started $75 or 6,000 points. Now that did start already with the platinum, and we've already kind of gone through that. So that if there are still spaces available and you're interested, you can go ahead and potentially get into one of the dining program options. So then let's talk about the rent day travel experiences for this month. And there's two. So the first one is a Blade lounge party. And if you're not familiar with Blade, Blade is a helicopter ride that is based in Manhattan, New York, and you can fly that helicopter if you take it from Manhattan to either JFK or EWR Newark Airport or the vicinity to get there. It's a very quick flight, and it's became part of the Bilt program, I believe, maybe a month or two ago. So as I say on here, this Blade Lounge party, if you were doing the full party, now it's not available anymore because they only had 30 slots. But what it included was you would fly from Blade Lounge West with a welcome cocktail, and then you would board the helicopter, fly the New York City skyline to Blade Lounge East location. The party begins with, we'll have small plates, drinks, and more. And the event is from 7 to 11 p.m. on the 1st. Now, the lounge party is up to 4 people. But right now, as of just before doing this here, before doing this recorded stream, is that there was only 2 slots available left for the party. And earlier, gold right now, gold and platinum can have early access to that lounge party, and they can get in at 7 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock p.m. So that is available for the same price as the regular lounge party. That's just the benefit of being a gold or platinum member. And then the flight and the party was only had 30 slots. And so they staggered it like we see with the dining program. And so the platinum pretty much took it over with only 30 slots and platinum having the first shot. So it went very quick, which is not surprising. So we have that. So there may be still something there if you are in the New York area and have an interest. You just can't have the flight. So the next item is Virgin Voyages travel experience. Now it is already open. You can book through August the 1st. And so Bilt members can bring a complimentary guest on select Virgin voyages. And so you and the person that you bring with you will have a $100 bar tab, unlimited premium Wi-Fi, two specialty coffees per day, priority boarding, and complimentary laundry service. Now you just need to book by August 2nd. My apologies. Book by August 2nd at 2:59 a.m. to be able to book that. Now, surprisingly, there is a lot of cruises available. I won't name them all, but I'll just be able. I have them here on the screen. But let me go ahead and touch on them. So you have eligible cruises with in the Caribbean. You can take the Mayan Soul on September 8th and November 3rd, the Fire and Sunset Soares, September 4th, September 18th, October 2nd, December 11th, and December 26th. You could be the Riviera Maya, September 22nd, November 17th, and December 1st. The Dominican Days, September 27th, October 11th. Costa Maya and Cozumel Charm, November 10th. And then it will continue, still have additional Caribbean options of Grand Turk, Puerto Plata, and Bimini on November 15th. That's all one cruise. And then one way on the San Juan Sojourn, November 30th. Pre-holiday Caribbean Refresh cruise, December 6th. And the last Caribbean cruise is the St. Isles and Seas of the Caribbean on December 4th. So that is a lot of options for the Caribbean. And then in the Mediterranean, there you still have a lot of options as well. And I'll go through those real quick. The Adriatic Sea and Greek Gems on July 28th, Portsmouth to Zeebrugge and back, August the 27th, from England to Amsterdam and back on August the 30th, a Scarlet Fright voyage on October 24th, the Transatlantic Tricks and Treats on October 27th, then Barcelona to the Vita Vice, I believe that's pronounced how it's pronounced, November 3rd, and then from Rome to Miami on November 28th. So there's a lot of cruises that are available, and they can take you all the way to the end of the year. So if you had an interest in a Virgin cruise and have someone that you want to take with you, this could be an excellent opportunity to do that if there is a cruise that fits for you. And if you go to your app, there'll be a place where you can be able to book, and it has the code that you would need to be able to book that cruise, and should be a relatively simple process. But those are the two travel experiences that we have this year or this month. So let's talk about these Bilt tiers and what they may mean to you and what they mean to me as well. So the blue status, which I do not list on here, everybody gets blue status as long as you just sign up with Bilt membership. And it provides you just very basic benefits on it. Then you get to the silver where you start needing to have some points or dollars. So silver, you need to either have 50,000 points or $10,000 worth of spend during that year. And at the silver part, you earn interest on your points. And what this interest is a very small interest, but it's really only meant to hopefully that you don't have a devaluation of the points if you just want to sit on them. So it's not anything that's going to make you points. It's really just to kind of steady it. So it's a nice feature. Obviously, we had a devaluation, unfortunately, through the bonus points, but that's part of the silver program. You get the silver level rent day transfer bonuses when they do it. You'll get 10% discount on Blade flights, and you'll get an additional 10x, I'm sorry, 2x per dollar on your Blade purchase if you're using the card. Now, as I mentioned, Blade provides helicopter flights from Manhattan to JFK or to Newark EWR. The next one would be gold status, 125,000 points or $25,000 worth of spend. You'll get Blade Lounge access even if you're not flying Blade, and then you'll get gold priority access to the different events or activities that we talked about for the neighborhood dining. And even this Blade Lounge was an example of having benefit where you could enter into the party early. And then you'll get gold rent day transfer bonuses, that level, which we've talked about. And then lastly, but definitely not definitely something to be looking at. If you have 200,000 points or $50,000 worth of spend, you get a complimentary Blade flight. You'll also get 12 months for Flying Blue Gold status. Now, you do have to, if you do qualify and get to platinum status and seek that Flying Blue Gold status, you do have to transfer 10,000 Bilt points to trigger it. And so, what is the benefit of Flying Blue Gold status? Well, I think the two biggest things are you can book the best Air France business class seats in advance with no fees. And that's really essentially been the bulkhead seats in business class, which is a nice feature if you're flying Air France. The other part is you get Sky Team Elite Plus. And for that, you'll get access to Sky Team lounges on international flights, and then priority check-in and boarding and a few other things. So it's a nice touch to be able to get that for a year and try it out and see if it's worth something for you to try to maintain it or enjoy what it has for you for the 1 year. But those are the tiers, and the biggest things that I will be talking about is the gold and platinum status, because when they have done transfer bonuses, that is where we've seen significant jumps to sometimes where the transfer bonus has exceeded 100%. But with the change that they've done in the bonuses, we need to now look at how does this change our strategy. So, as a reminder, when you're earning Bilt status, you can either earn it by points that you accumulate with your spend, and that is regardless of the source and includes your rent points that you accumulate at one time per dollar, 1x per dollar. You can do it via spend, and they call it fast track, where it's all the cash you spend, but it does not include any rent as part of that cash that you need to reach. Now, status is earned in the current year that you're in, plus, especially at this point here in July, if you go to your Bilt Rewards app, you'll see that your status that you have right now is going to be good all the way through December 31st of 2025. So we've got this October 1st date. So what do we need to do? Well, the first thing I would suggest is you need to review your status, what status level you're at, whether you're at blue or silver or gold or even platinum. And you need to determine if with the remaining 2 rent days of August and September, if it could impact your moving up to the tier that you want. And you need to maximize these last 2 rent days with the 10,000 cap of August 1st and September 1st. So in my case, there's a chance I could get from silver to gold status, but I would definitely have to spend more than I originally planned on. Now, when I say spend more, I'm not saying creating additional expense for me to spend on. What I'm saying is that trying to look at potentially prepaying in car insurance, for example, or maybe taxes. Not a whole lot of money, but a little bit more than I would probably spend. And so that is something I need to consider and work the numbers out to see if it's going to be worth it to me. to go ahead and get to gold status? Can I reach it? And then to maximize these points, because it's one thing to have the status, and that's nice for the transfer bonuses. But if you don't have the points or a small amount of points, it isn't as much. So that 10,000 bonus for August and September can have a chance to kind of pad those numbers, because at this rate, we're not going to see this anymore. You're not going to be able to generate good amount of points each month. And without that, getting those bonus points, it becomes something where the value of doing Built on rent day loses a bit. And so it's dropped down as far as the importance that I give to Built. Now, I've got points there. I'm not moving them. I like that for the Alaska, but more especially another option for my Chase, where I would normally have Hyatt through Chase. I can now do Hyatt through there. So the point bill points still do mean something, but now I have to change the mindset that I'm not going to accumulate a lot of points on the bill card anymore. So these last 2 months will most likely have me strive to get gold status and then get whatever bonus points I can get to finish up the go round with Built. So what does this mean once you get to October 1st, though? Well, the 1,000 point cap comes into play. And if you're a renter, you're still going to enjoy earning points on your rent because there is no other card that does it. And there's no annual fee. So from a renter standpoint, you still are doing fine. But if you were a person that was chasing status, it hurts, but there's still great plus to it. Now, as far as a non-renter, it's a no annual fee card, so it's not hurting me. And you can continue to earn points, but as I say, you got to plan. I have to plan for a new reality, and so I need to determine where I was doing a lot of spending on Built on rent day. How much do I still want to do on rent day? Is it just that 1,000 point cap? Is there any value for me spending any more than that? And compared to other credit cards that I have. So each of you needs to take a look at that and put a little bit of time in to see what it means to you. But if there's a chance, and if you're chasing status, and if you say that you can reasonably get there, especially with these 2 last months of 10,000 points, then make up the plan that's going to get you there. Don't put yourself in a strain, though. Like I said, the additional spend that I might do is only to basically kind of prepay some expenses like car insurance or home insurance. And so I'll look at that, but be careful in regards to it. So I just wanted to get this out to everybody, to hopefully give you this information about Built, but more importantly, to kind of just put in your mind that you need to kind of really think your strategy out, especially over these next 2 months, and then develop what the reality is for your particular situation going forward. So I will make sure to put the links for the 2 Built videos in the comment section. And if you haven't looked at them, definitely take a look at it. And lastly, if you've liked what you've been able to hear, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps a great deal, and I can't thank you all enough. So take care and be safe.